What up, though, and welcome back to Lions Nation 9. I'm your boy Eazy. Make sure you guys do me the biggest favor in the world and loan me about $50,000. Just if you could, I'd really appreciate it. If not, just as equal value to me as you pressing that like button. So I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Share the video if you guys like. I'm breaking down day 2 of the Detroit Lions training camp. Technically, it feels like day 1 because you're finally getting the stories out here. And yes, couple pieces I want to start with. One, this video is not going to start too well, be honest with you, because Levi Onwuzurike is out for a season. Unfortunately, he was put on the injury reserve list because he tore his ACL, and he is out for the year, confirmed by Dan Campbell to begin the press conference today. Bit of a big blow for the Detroit Lions. I know you may look in perspective and be like, "Hey, what do you mean? We lost Aiden Hutchinson and we still won 15 games? Like, what are you talking about here?" And yeah, that's very true. So it's not detrimental. But it's definitely a big blow when you look at the fact that when you did that, you had Ali McNeil for a lot of those games. We don't have that situation right now. That's why Levi was probably almost like a must to re-sign. And he almost did Detroit a favor of re-signing back here. I think he'll lose like $3.5 million and the money that we signed him to. Could give it to Zary Smith. Anyway, moving on. But Levi's out, and then now stepping up for him is the rookie, Tyleik Williams. And as much as I have faith in him, I think he is actually still going to be a very, very solid football player. Year one, I think he's probably going to be a little bit more of a run defender than getting after the quarterback, where Levi Onwuzurike brought that to you. Matter of fact, a lot of you guys, if you were there in attendance for camp last year or speak to anybody that wasn't in from camp last year, Levi was a dog. Now, we obviously didn't come to complete fruition come regular season because I believe you lost Aiden Hutchinson. Because with Aiden Hutchinson, Levi was very, very, very noticeable in training camp last year. Matter of fact, game 1 of the season against the Rams, I'm pretty sure he split a sack with Marcus Davenport. They also lost throughout that journey too. So it is unfortunate you're going to lose Levi Onwuzurike for the year. It is what it is at this point. We just got to move on from it. Just delete it from the back of your mind. It's from the front of your mind. It's just he's gone. It is what it is. Stepping up for him was Tyleik Williams. Again, I think he'll be solid as a run defender, but I think you're going to miss a little bit in the pass block. And we'll see. Pass rushing, I should say. Keeping it heavy. I think I did that. If you know, you know. The offensive line. Tate Ratledge splitting first-team reps with veteran Graham Glasgow. That's probably one of the coolest takeaways from training camp, to be honest with you. Like, I was one of the people that finally decided, hey, Graham's probably going to win this job. He knows the offense. He's a better rapport with Jared Goff. He's probably better at reading the defenses compared to this rookie who has never been asked to play the starting center position outside of a few reps in practice as a collegiate player. If they have enough confidence to put Tate in there right now, that means Tate looks pretty damn good. And that's from like a weird holdout situations we thought was going to take place. And I honestly think if you're combing out the strength of this offensive line, like it makes sense if you put Graham at right guard. By the way, that's where Graham was when he wasn't getting those starting reps at center. You put Graham at right guard. Obviously, Mahogany can play left guard at that point, and then Tate in the middle. I think you have 3 solid points where you kind of know what type of production you're going to get. I have a lot of faith in Christian Mahogany that he's going to be very good, but the pieces I know, I have a good feeling I'm going to get production for sure. I think Tate will be able to help you run block for sure. So I think you have 3 pillars in that situation with like a little gray areas in between. Starting from, if you're reading from left to right, you're talking Taylor Decker, left tackle. Wasn't there today. Dan Skipper filled in for him. And maybe news for Giovanni Manu we'll talk about later. But if Taylor Decker at left tackle, okay, I'm solid. I have faith in that one. Christian Mahogany, I have faith in that one. You could call it a question because he only started the one game against the poopy Chicago Bears. Whatever. I have faith in him. I have faith that Tate Ratledge is going to be a really good run blocker. So there's your other pillar, and then you have Graham, and then you have your main pillar, Penei Sewell. So I think it kind of makes sense if you want to spread out your strength of the offensive line evenly through, if that makes sense to anybody. And again, this is just day 1. He very well could lose that job, and it's Graham Glasgow's. It's for all the reasons we thought it was going to be him before. But the fact that he's getting reps at first team right now, I think shows that he's ready to be getting reps at first team right now. And that's a very good sign from Tate Ratledge. Obviously, wait till you get in pads to have any strong takeaways. That's just an observation from today while media was there at camp. Continuing with the offensive line, Giovanni Manu. A lot of people want to know what's going on with him because you gave up a lot of capital to get him. You gave up a 3rd-round pick to draft Giovanni Manu in the 4th round. He came from British Columbia. A Canadian college. Like there's questions when you grab a guy from Canada. There's questions when you grab a guy from American college. He is a Canadian college. There's lots of questions there. But he's one hell of a human being. He's a hell of a specimen, and I think he's very much a project. And I think that project is going to continue. I don't have any strong takeaways that he was in the third string because the guy that was in front of him was Dan Skipper. And we watched Dan Skipper in divisional game last year against the Green Bay Packers, primetime divisional game against the Green Bay Packers, play his ass off. Dan Skipper looked phenomenal last year when he started that game. I don't know if he had maintained that for 17-game season. Luckily, that's not going to be the case. But I'm not. I guess I'm not being too down on the Giovanni Manu being behind him because Dan looked pretty good. And we know Giovanni Manu is going to take some time just to develop. Last year, we even still trying to comb through and figure out what position we want Giovanni Manu to even play. And we've set on left tackle. I think that's a step in itself. Now let's refine. Let's start cracking away, chipping away the skill set and reps it takes to play left tackle. We're almost there, guys. Just be patient with Giovanni Manu. We're almost there until we find out what we got. It reminds me of that meme where the guy's digging for the gold, for the diamonds, gives up right before, but the guy behind him keeps going. We're chugging along, baby. We're gonna get there. It's a Brad Holmes pick. Don't give up on it now. Speaking of Brad Holmes' pick, Hendon Hooker today, some news from him. He was playing third string as well. But another thing, again, I get for my job, it's probably more beneficial if I have these strong takeaways from these situations. But there's a lot of gray area when you're talking day 2 of training camp. Like, there's just so many things that could change. It's not even funny. In fact, last year, I can't even think of the kid's name. Oh, man. I can't even think of his name, but he was the second string quarterback as well. And guess who ended up taking the job? Hendon Hooker. Guess who looked better in the game? Hendon Hooker. Like, I think a similar situation today. Kai Allen got second team reps over Hendon Hooker at third team. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think this is Hendon Hooker's job to lose. I truly don't expect him going out like this. You're looking at a situation. You're bringing a new offensive coordinator. Sorry, I pressed a weird button. Maybe threw off my concentration. You're bringing in a new offensive coordinator, and he's not bringing anything new. He's not breaking down what you did before, building it back up. This offense was meant to be turnkey. And that's just not me saying that. Dan Campbell said that himself. He wants for both sides of the ball, defensive and offensive coordinators. We like the things we were doing. They were working. Yeah, they were working. You were 15-2, and you were the number 1 seed in the NFC last year. For sure they work. All right, so you're not rebuilding a new offense. So in that scenario, a guy that's been in this offense for the past 2 years may know this offense better than the offensive coordinator. So I don't expect a quarterback come through and take that job, especially Kyle Allen, with all due respect. I heard he's got quick release. I heard he's pretty mobile. But I think Hendon Hooker has a leg up in this competition simply because he knows the offense better. And he's still athletic himself. I think you see these bad reps. Keep in mind that he's playing with the third string in these situations. Some of those are going to be bad. And speaking of third string, I don't want to say being bad, but it's third string. Isaac Tesla. I guess there was a deep ball route situation. Avonte Maddox or Rock Ya-Sin, I apologize, got the better of him on. So he's still working on becoming an next wide receiver, or at least that wide type that you see Tim Patrick in. I know that's a hot button name too, so I got to get you the stuff I hear about Isaac Tesla. But I want to know what you guys want to hear about. Let me know. These are my takeaways from day 1 at training camp. I know Jared Goff looked good today. Congratulations to him having his brand new baby girl, Romy, I think the name is. There is no greater gift in life than the gift of life. So congratulations to the Goffs. Amon-Ra St. Brown routed him up today. I heard Amon-Ra St. Brown was giving DJ Reed problems, which – like, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, Amon-Ra is a first-team All-Pro. That's what Amon-Ra does. He is top. I did my wide receiver rankings. He fell out of top 5, so I can't say top 5, but he's top 5. So I don't think there's any worry from that one. I will stay with that defensive back room, though. Ennis Rakeshaw left practice early, missed the last half hour of practice with a chest injury. I guess he went down and originally looked like he was holding his shoulder. Turns out it's a chest injury. We'll probably get an update on that at some point tomorrow. As soon as I get that, I'll get that back out to you. Make sure you guys are following me at Speaky Sports _ or at Lions Nation Unite. Make sure to drop that news as soon as we hear about that one. But I spoke about Ennis this summer, specifically his move to the outside, because I thought that meant that same thing kind of with Giovanni Manu. Okay, we think you're better here. Let's start chipping away from there. And I thought Ennis looked good outside last year too. And that allowed me to introduce the idea of Terrion Arnold playing the nickel cornerback position for the Detroit Lions, at least here and there. And I got a kill for it. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Today in practice, I've been told Terran Arnold was getting some reps and at the nickel quarterback spot. But I think that is a badge of honor. Uh, Detroit Lions have a top 5 offense in the last 3 years. 76% of what the Detroit Lions do through the air is in the middle of the field. I would venture to say that's very similar to another quarterback, Tom Brady. And I've heard Tom Brady break this down is the reason why Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, Wes Welker, why these guys are so successful, these tight ends, Rob Gronkowski, the reason why these guys are so successful in the Patriot system on those Super Bowl runs is Bill Belichick and Tom Brady figured out that it is easier to manipulate the middle of the field. There's a lot more ground to cover in the middle of the field on the offensive side of the ball. And so cornerback is a tougher position to play if you're a nickel than on the outside. On the outside, you kind of can use those boundaries as a secondary defender for you. I've had that conversation from Ennis Rakestraw with Ennis Rakestraw. And so the interior offensive side of the field, I apologize, that middle of the field is tougher to guard. So I think you need a more talented guy in there. And I think Terrion is that on this team. I think it could be in the team's best interest to ask him to play nickel. Not only that, when we first started cutting his teeth at Alabama, it was at the nickel position, the star position, they called it over there. It was like a hybrid cornerback / safety. Well, it was Brian Branch. That's what Brian Branch did. So I don't think that's a knock on Terran Arnold at all. I think it's more of he's bald. It's more of hats off to his skill set and his ability. And again, it was just a couple snaps, just because I think Meek looked really good at times. And Matt, mind you, Meek, when we signed him, he was an outside cornerback with the Raiders. He had played nickel before, but his best years came as an outside cornerback. Similar situation with DJ Reed. Like DJ Reed, he is better as an outside cornerback. Did he play nickel before? Yeah, but he didn't become DJ Reed until he's given that outside spot. So I think they want to see Meek there a little bit. You guys remember the Vikings game where he locked down Justin Jefferson. That guy deserves some reps, and it's all competition either way too. So these are my takeaways from day 2 of Detroit Lions training camp. What do you guys want to know? What did I miss that you may have heard? What do you want to know about? Let me know down below. I am in with the beat writers, and I will text them and bug them as much as you guys want. So let me know what you want them keeping eyes on for the Detroit Lions. There's a lot of question marks, but also a lot of expectations. So this is an important training camp. We got to cover it together. For now, I'm out of here. Make sure you smash the like button, share this video to somebody who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Lions Nation Night. Make sure you check out the new merch we just dropped too.